Hello guys, I'm going to introduce you to potato farming and what potato farming entails. And here we are going to start off with just a quick guide or a pictorial presentation of what happens during the several stages from farm to fork, known as a farm to fork approach. And as you can see here at step 1, we have the several stages of tuber production. And as you can see on the first stage on my far left, on the far left here, we have the potato tubers that are grown as seeds. These are the propagative material. And the second step is the propagated material, which is the tuber seed, has sprouted and emerged on top of the soil, and then on succeeding stages of growth until the last stage here where we have fully grown tubers. In step 2 here, we have fully grown tubers that have been harvested, and step 3 and 4 are just the two step 3s here are just two common products that are produced from potatoes. So under land preparation and planting, the first stage in land preparation is opening up of a virgin land, and this entails use of mechanized equipment. In most cases we use a moldboard plow and disc plow to open up virgin land or land that had previous cropping. For example, you might have your land was planted with maize, but now you want to plant potatoes. Now you need what we call primary cultivation. So that is where you use a tractor in case of large tracts of land. But for small scale farming, also hand cultivation is also encouraged. Now, after primary cultivation is when we go now to secondary cultivation, and secondary cultivation has several steps. The first one is you may want to mix the soil and break the soil clods. As you can see from primary cultivation, our soil is not fine, and we need soil to be fine, like what we have here in step 2. So therefore, to do that, you need what we call a secondary cultivation. After secondary cultivation, we also have tertiary cultivation practices, which include ridging and furrowing. And as you can see from these arrows here, this is a ridge and this is a ridge and this is a furrow. In the furrows is where you plant your potato tubers, and the soil that are heaped on the ridges is what you use to cover the potato tubers after planting and applying fertilizers. Now, the depth of the ridges and the depth of the furrows should be 10 to 15 centimeters, and the ridges should at least be 75 centimeters apart. This is to allow even spacing when it comes to planting and other management practices. Also, in planting, the tubers should be at least 30 to 45 centimeters apart. This is also for even spacing and to reduce competition for nutrients. During planting, depending on your location in Kenya, there are various fertilizers that have been recommended by our agricultural organization, which is GALRO, and among these fertilizers we have DAP and NPK. So DAP is diammonium phosphate and NPK is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These two fertilizers have different ratios of nitrogen and phosphorus, and this also has NPK here has also some bit of potassium, but with DAP lacks potassium. So this is 1846-0 for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which is 1846-0, while the other one, NPK, is 23% nitrogen, 23% phosphorus, and 23% potassium. So this last pictorial representation is what happens after you've planted, you've arranged your tubers, as you can see on step 2, and covered them. So the last stage is where you cover now, you cover the furrows, and then you wait for the next step. Under management practices, we have several management practices done after planting all the way to the harvesting stage. So the first step is herbicide spraying, and this is spraying to prevent early emerging weeds, and these are weeds that emerge a week after you plant your potato tubers. The next step after herbicide spraying is now this is done. Earthing up is done, and earthing up is done to already sprouted potato tubers. As you can see from this pictorial representation here, these potato plants are in a straight line, as you can see. Now, you remember the ridges and the furrows we made, and then we used soil on the furrows, on the ridges, sorry, to cover the furrows. Now here we earth up and create a furrow and some sort of a ridge around the potato plant in a straight line. So earthing up is used as a weeding step, and also it has other advantages in that it boosts tuber development, and it also allows expansion of the tuber because of the loose soil that are being provided around the base of the plant. Another management practice that we have in potato farming is spraying, and potato are of the Solanaceae family, and this family is susceptible to early and late blight. Those are potato diseases, and these diseases are detrimental to your crop if you don't spray on time. This is usually on the onset of rain, and sometimes as soon as you can see, as you see the first signs of attack. The common fungicides that are used, that are in the market, is what we call Ridomil Gold, Zetanil, and Mistress. These are the common fungicides that are available in the market, and this is what farmers in Kenya mostly use. After this step, the next step is during flowering. During flowering, we have boosters, flower boosters, also that you can use to spray your potatoes, so that you do not want your flowers dropping immediately they flower. You need the flower going all the way through the pollination stage and formation of the fruits, the potato fruits. And you need that because this also ensures that you have healthy tubers. Spraying continues all the way. If you have a rainy season, a heavily rainy season, you need to continuously spray your crop at intervals of 7 to 10 days depending on weather conditions. For highly rainy time periods, you should spray after every 7 days, but if you have sunny intervals, you go for 14 days before between spraying. If you did all your management practices right, it should take you to the last step, which is now enjoying the fruits of your labor. Now the first, as you can see here, during harvesting we have now the potato tubers that you've harvested on your farm. Mostly in Kenya, because of the large number of people who are involved in small-scale production, harvesting of potatoes is usually by human labor. By human labor, and in this step, you get workers in your field, and they use hoes to dig up the potato tubers, taking care not to injure them during harvesting. As you can see now in step 3 here, we have bagging of the harvested potato tubers. So in Kenya, this is the standard bag that you're going to get in the market, which is 50 kg as regulated by the government of Kenya, and this is the final what the final bag looks like. This is what you are going in step 4. This is what you are going to find in the market. This one here, this is what you are going to find in today's market. And thank you. That is all we have for potato production. Potato production from planting all the way to harvesting. Thank you.